Hi everyone, this is Ross from the Daily Jaws. It's another beautiful day and the beaches are open for this, the 35th anniversary commentary of Jaws the Revenge. Today we are joined by a very special guest, Hoagie himself, Sir Michael Caine. Welcome, Sir Michael.
Thank you, Ross. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm actually recording this in the house Jaws the Revenge built. Still a nice gaff.
Sir Michael, for those not familiar with Jaws the Revenge, could you tell us who you play in the film and a little bit about them?
I play Hoagie, a local pilot for hire in the Bahamas. I'm something of a rogue and a whiz with the ladies. Bit like Han Solo, except I fly laundry. I like to think of him as an older Alfie with sharks.
Now you've not seen this, have you, Sir Michael?
No, I've heard it's very funny.
That's one word for it. Just to let everyone know, Sir Michael and I will be watching the international cut of the movie and we'll be streaming it through iTunes if you want to watch along. Sir Michael, would you like to do the honours and press play?
Yeah, I'd love to. Where's the button?
Just touch the screen there.
Ah, right. And away we go.
And there's the classic Universal Pictures logo as we return to Amity Island for the final film in the Jaws franchise, which was released in US cinemas on the 17th of July 1987.
Oh, so what's this then? The shark's point of view?
Yeah, they do this in all the Jaws films.
Right, gotcha. Never seen a Jaws film?
You've never seen a Jaws film?
No, I heard the first one was quite good though.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Lorraine Gary. Lovely lady. Pointy shoulder pads. Take your bleeding eye out if you weren't careful. Lance Guest. Great beard. Good lad. Saved his life while shooting. Mario Van Peebles. Top fella. Unbeatable at Scrabble. Karen Young. Great little welder, that one. Judith. Ah, I love working with her. Lynn Whitfield. My word, what a beauty. Mitchell Anderson. Lovely boy. Runs a posh food place now, right? And last but not least, me. So, can sharks usually see above the water?
Not usually, no.
This bloody fish can't make its mind up whether it's above or below the water.
So how did you get involved with Jaws the Revenge, Sir Michael?
Well, I was sent an early version of the script, and the opening line was, "Fade in, Hawaii." At that point, I was in. I was also reading the script for the Fourth Protocol at the time, which was released the same year, and I must have dropped them both. In the end, I thought I'd signed up to do Jaws, the Fourth Protocol. Come to mention it, I did wonder why Pierce Brosnan was voicing a shark, and how he'd ever be able to set a nuclear device off on an American airbase in the UK dressed as a shark.
Okay. Now, you used to work as a porter at a fish market, didn't you? What fish is that?
A dead one. That's quite a small kitchen. That kitchen there is quite small. I built a house with a paycheck from this movie. That kitchen's much bigger.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah, much bigger. I had 3 quotes off some builders. Went with the cheapest, and he ended up being the most expensive. Was going to write to my mate Angela Rippon at Rip Off Britain, but couldn't be bothered in the end. This set at Christmas?
Yeah, that's right.
Should have called it Santa Jaws. I remember when I made a Muppet Christmas Carol. You seen it?
Of course, a classic.
That Miss Piggy. My wife was not happy with her by the end of shooting, I can tell you.
You don't have much luck with animals, do you?
Nah.
So this is set on Amity Island where Jaws and Jaws 2 were set. Jaws 3 was set at SeaWorld.
So, the son's old Bill, is he?
Yeah.
Who's that bloke in a picture on the wall?
That's Chief Brody from the original Jaws and Jaws 2. He's Ellen's late husband and Michael and Sean's dad. He killed the sharks and saved the town in the first 2 movies, played by Roy Scheider. Total legend.
Ah, right. He's important then.
Yeah, you could say that. Roy was asked about doing Jaws the Revenge actually, but he said, Satan himself could not get me to do Jaws Part 4. So what's your excuse, Sir Michael?
Ha! Satan made me do it. I once went cow tipping with Sean Connery and Roger Moore. Never again. Oi, I was conducting these carolers. Bloody nightmare. Couldn't sing a note. Not one of them. I know how you feel, mate. So, what's going on then?
Sean Brody had to take care of a dock piling stuck on a channel marker.
Sounds painful. Oh, he's getting on a boat. This isn't going to end well.
I think you're right.
I had a boat once.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I lost it to Jessica Chastain while making Interstellar. Don't ever play cards with that woman.
Noted.
Those bloody carolers are doing my head in. I never got to work with Mitchell. Cracking lad.
Yeah, Mitchell's a great guy. I interviewed him recently. Now he runs a top restaurant in Atlanta called Metra Fresh.
Is this the mess he's got to sort out?
Yeah.
I wish someone would mute those bloody carolers. This is looking dicey. Proceed with caution, my son. Oh dear, here we go. Whoa! 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 His arm's gone. I know how he feels. I nearly had my arm ripped off by Christian Bale on the set of Batman Begins.
Really? What happened?
I shook his hand. He's come back for the other arm. I think I'd rather be attacked by a shark than listen to those bloody carolers. He needed a better boat. All because of a bit of wood. Not much left, poor sod. Bloody hell, this is pretty grim. I thought this was supposed to be a comedy.
It gets better. I'm worse. You'll see. You'll see.
Great actress, Lorraine Gary. Very underrated. Hey, there they are. Karen, Judith and Lancey boy. Nice lad, Lance. He was good in The Last Starfighter. It's no Interstellar, but decent.
Lance also starred in Halloween 2 with Jaws actor Jeffrey Kramer.
Loved him in Clue. Should have had a bigger role. Was no sleuth, mind. Interesting fact, Lance said he grew the beard as a tribute to my character in Educating Rita. That was directed by Lewis Gilbert. Lewis directed Jaws in the James Bond films with my old mate Roger Moore.
Small world. For those eagle-eyed Jaws fans, that's Mrs. Kinter on the right, greeting Michael, and Mrs. Taft in the middle. Both were in the original Jaws.
Karen Young. Great girl. Really dedicated actress. I signed her up for a welding course. After that, she never looked back. Did some work on a Mini I kept from the Italian job.
Really?
Yeah. As a thank you, she also knocked me up this amazing life-size statue of me. Got it in my kitchen. Sometimes I just sit there and look at it. For hours. Shakira thinks it's a bit weird, but I like it. Oh, this is good stuff. Casting Lance and Lorraine as mother and son was a great decision.
Yeah, I have to agree. You really believe they are family. It's a shame Lorraine quit acting. She was very good. Apparently Lorraine treated Lance like her own son and was absolutely lovely.
Too right. Lovely lady.
Perhaps you should take her out for a Bahama Mama sometime.
Perhaps. But I'm a one-woman man, my son. Oh, fettuccine. I could do with grub now. You got any snacks?
No, sorry.
Ah, that's a shame. Fancy some gummy bears right now? The size of that kitchen is really bothering me.
More than the carol singers.
Not as much as the carol singers. Hopefully, they are the worst thing about this movie. I wonder if sharks can take things personally. I know my cat does, little bugger. These two were another good bit of casting. Worked well off each other. That's exactly how I broke up with my first girlfriend. She thought we were on a lovely stroll, and then I just ran off, changed my name, left the country. Oh yeah. I remember when I had to do the Alfred monologue to Martha and Thomas Wayne's graves in The Dark Knight Rises. That was a very tough scene to do.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Doesn't help when you got Christian Bale prancing about behind a camera in a batsuit trying to put you off.
Here they are flashing back to the original Jaws. This is Sean and his dad.
Ah, that's very sweet.
Yeah, probably my favourite scene in the original. It's just perfect.
Probably could have used a smaller coffin. Geez, that lollipop's as big as her head. That was a lovely little scene. Little scenes like that are just as important as the big dramatic scenes in any picture. You can't see me, but I'm actually driving the ferry in this scene. I actually drove it all the way to the Bahamas. Got us there in one piece. I figured if we took the same journey the sharks were going to take, it might help us be more empathetic with them. It wasn't until we got there that they told me that the shark didn't really make the journey. They just stuck the bleeding model on a plane and shipped it out. Lorraine had an earpiece in, and her crying was due to her finding out we were going to the Bahamas non-stop. She was upset because she'd forgotten her zinc oxide. Still, pleasant trip taking a scenic route. I came up with that joke. I let Lance have that one. Now who's that handsome fella playing a pilot? That's me, really flying. I trained with the Red Arrows. Showed them a thing or two. Did quite well, considering I only had 1 week to prepare. I'm not a method actor, but I really did fly 100 nuns to Nairobi. Now, watch this scene. For any budding actors out there, this is how to play your character's first scene.
That's how it's done?
Exactly.
Now, this is Romeo Farrington. He was a real life driver on Nassau. He got his part as he picked up the movie producers at the airport while location scouting. True story.
That's a nice house on the beach. Mine's bigger.
Bigger kitchen.
I'd expect so. Judith was such a good young actress. So much fun to work with. I'm really enjoying watching Lance and Lorraine. They were paired really well for this movie. So important to get the casting right.
Totally agree. That's what makes the original Jaws so great. It's perfect casting.
Karen and I made that. We knocked it up between takes. She was in the middle of her welder's course. I'm a master welder, so guided her through it. She's swimming. She knows sharks are in the water, right? Bloody hell. Whoa! I've had the same dream, except it was Miss Piggy attacking me in the dressing room. I wanted to drive that sub, but the director wouldn't let me. Not after what I did to the plane.
What did you do to the plane?
Can't discuss that, I'm afraid. Non-disclosure agreement.
Fair enough.
There's me old mate, Mario Van Peebles. Great bloke, good actor. Really enjoyed working with him. Unbeatable at Scrabble. I taught Lance to scuba dive. Beard slowed him down, but a quick learner.
Wasn't there a subplot involving Hoagie smuggling drugs onto the island?
Yeah, there was. The scenes were shot, then deleted during post, because it took it away from the main premise involving the shark. They thought I outshone a mechanical fish. Love Mario in this. He's so funny.
He really is. He wrote a lot of his own dialogue, apparently.
I bought the whole cast and crew presents.
Oh, yeah? Where did you get them?
Books on kitchen design. Did you know it's always best to avoid corners and doorways where possible? You don't want to open a door only to be met by an obstacle.
I did not know that, Sir Michael.
Tea set. That reminds me. When filming A Dark Knight Rises, Chris Nolan told me that Alfred's tea has been spiked and he's hallucinating seeing Bruce Wayne at the end. So, what happened to Bruce Wayne? He died in the explosion. Keep that to yourself, though.
Your secret's safe with us.
More Christmas carols? This director's obsessed. They sound better than the choir at the beginning, though. I know the original Jaws was written by that fellow with the glasses, Peter Benchley. I've been in an adaptation of one of his books before, The Island, with that lovely David Warner, who got his head chopped off in The Omen. We had much better weather on this shoot, though. Oh, Sharky's back. Did it just growl?
Yep.
A growling shark. That's a new one.
Oh, it gets better.
That rowing was not as easy as I made it look, believe you me. Oh yeah, she can sense the shark, can't she? It's coming back to me. Now I remember why I never watched this. Who's that handsome fella in the little boat? I should have asked for a bigger one. You know, I was paid over $1 million for 7 days' work in the Bahamas, and the schedule was so tight that I couldn't attend that year's Oscars, where I only went and bloody won Best Actor in Supporting Role for Hannah and her Sisters. Sigourney Weaver accepted the award for me in my absence. She still bloody got it. Surprised I didn't win again for this. Lance was really happy with his beard, and so he should be. He wears it well. Handsome chap.
Studio head Sid Sheinberg told director Joseph Sargent he could shoot where he wanted. I totally understand why he chose the Bahamas. It's beautiful. Although Lance Guest did say after a few weeks you start to get island fever and can go a bit stir crazy. How did you handle it?
Well, I was only there a week or so it didn't affect me, my son. Oh, I think I'd have done a couple of things differently in that last scene, but was still good. Now, Lorraine got jealous that I'd learnt to fly, so I offered her to take her for a lesson. This wasn't part of the script. I just said, stick a camera in the cockpit and we'll improvise. She nearly killed us. That was a true story, by the way. I designed those costumes. We're back in the water. Not much of a movie if we don't get back in at some point, I suppose. That shark means business. Was a bit of a nightmare to work with. Always broke down.
Same with all the Jaws movies, Sir Michael. The original Jaws took 159 days to shoot, was scheduled for only 55. The delays were because the shark just didn't really work properly. Led to a better movie though.
Sharks come and go, Ellen. Shot that line over 2 days. I was drunk the first day, messed it up. Came back the next day, nailed it in one take. One of the toughest lines of my career. So these bozos are now going to try and find the shark and study it. If that were me, I'd be out of there like a shot.
Me too, Sir Michael.
Rain most of the time in the Bahamas, which reminds me, I nearly got the Dustin Hoffman part in Rain Man. Another Oscar I could have won. You know what? Come to think of it, I've not had much luck with scripts set on water. This, where I got nominated for a bleeding Razzie. The Island, Beyond the Poseidon Adventure and Water. You'd think that the last one's title might have given it away. So that's why I turned down the Kevin Costner role in Waterworld. That was a nice little moment. Lorraine wanted to go in for a bear hug. I suggested a high five. We settled on a handshake. This was one of my favourite scenes to play. I have to say, Karen, Lynn and Lorraine look stunning in this scene. Very pretty and lovely ladies.
Agreed. Lynn Whitfield and Karen Young were two of my childhood crushes.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
That's me betting the film's budget. I do in fact know a one-armed piano player.
Do you really?
Yeah, Sean Brody. I have no dance clause in my contracts, so we had Lance step in.
What about the John Canoe?
Like I said, I was drunk. I really do think more sons should dance with their mothers. Sound advice. Anthony Perkins gave me that nugget. I tell you who is a great dancer. Gary Oldman. Tried to teach me the headsman once. Nearly ended up in a neck brace. Those shoulder pads I'd maybe change. Looks like she's playing in the NFL. These two went completely off script and improvised. It was so much better than the script, they had to change the ending.
Interesting fact, Mario Van Peebles went on to direct the USS Indianapolis Men of Courage. This was the story Quint tells in the original Jaws. One of your early co-stars, Robert Shaw, played Quint.
Robert Shaw. Now there's an actor. I was in the Battle of Britain with him back in '69. A great man. Well read and intelligent, and loved a good wind-up.
He was so good as Quint. That Indianapolis speech is perfect. Which of the monologues you've delivered over your career has been your favourites?
Too many to pick a favourite, and that's not me being big-headed. I'd probably say Zulu.
The novelization of Jaws the Revenge is quite interesting. It's based on the original script by Hank Searles and included many scenes and subplots that ultimately got removed. Some of the excised material included the discovery of Sean Brody by the Amity PD, Thea being hypnotised and almost wandering into the water at night where the shark waits, the death of a windsurfer, a humorous scene involving a drunken retired newscaster and the shark, a drive-by shooting where the Brodies are nearly injured, and a foot pursuit. Mike's secrecy of the shark takes a strain on his marriage. He also retains a monitoring device in the bedroom. When Carla has her unveiling, Mike goes to a bar and he and Carla argue. She then mentions that she shut off the monitoring device, not knowing what it does, because she believed Mike needed sleep. It's only then they realise Thea may be in danger on the banana boat. Deleted characters included an island gangster who befriends Ellen Brody, who is ultimately killed by the shark, Hoagie's law enforcement partner, and Papa Jacks, a voodoo doctor. In the novel, Papa Jacks is a local man to whom the islanders turn to for advice and guidance. Mike Brody doesn't like him, as he believes he exploits the islanders, including his assistants. After an altercation with Mike, Papa Jack summons the shark to do his bidding. He also has Thea's pail stolen so he can curse it. This is what leads to Thea walking outside towards the water in a zombie-like trance. Several segments also take place from the shark's point of view, and it's revealed that the shark is actually a pawn and can't understand the force driving it where it needs to go.
Ah, that reminds me. Bin day tomorrow. I hate having to sort out the plastics from the card. Does my back in. I wish someone would invent a machine that sorts it all out at a recycling place.
I'll add that to my to-do list, Sir Michael.
Karen Young, doesn't get enough credit. Really immersed herself into the role. Not only did she do a welding course, she also spent time on an offshore oil rig practicing her skills. Film acting is mostly reacting and listening. I was always listening to Lorraine and reacting to the shark.
Here's a little factoid that might interest you, Sir Michael. You are the second actor to follow up an Academy Award-winning performance with a Razzie Award-nominated performance in a Jaws movie. The first was Louis Gossett Jr., who won an Oscar for An Officer and a Gentleman, and then was nominated for a Razzie for Jaws 3.
I was there when they filmed this, and I told Roger and Sean about it. Next time we went fishing, they dared me to reenact this, with me rigged on the ropes. They just left me there. For 6 hours. Worst sunburn I've ever had. Shark doesn't look too good there, does he?
Doesn't look too good in much of this movie, to be honest. But that's what made the original Jaws so good. The shark in the first Jaws movie was only on screen for 4 minutes.
You know way too much about Jaws.
Ah, thank you.
That was a nice scene. A shame Lorraine stopped acting after this. When speaking to an actor off camera, I always look into one eye and stick with it, although it was made a lot harder when the shark kept going beneath the surface. Do you know the secret to making the perfect Bahama Mama?
Go on.
Double the rum and the lime. I swear to God, it'll blow your mind. Hang on, I'll make us one now.
So, Michael, we're in the middle of a commentary.
I'm not in this bit, so you don't need me, do you? Okay, here we go. Bit of that, bit of this. Okay, here we go. Bit of that, bit of this. Double the rum and the lime. Okay, here we go. Bit of that, bit of this. Here we go, my old China. Did I miss anything?
Cheers. Ellen and Carla were just talking about you.
Well, of course they were. Told you, double rum, double lime. My wife used to call this film The Great Micklewhite. Great, I said to her. She obviously hasn't seen the numbers. I'll never pick up a Jaws script ever again, unless I need an extension, of course. Is sharks all this family dreams about?
Apparently so.
As me and Lance were getting along so well, this was originally going to be me doing this scene. He would copy everything I did, and I mean everything. The producers thought that might have been a bit weird, so it was changed to be Lance and Judith. Nice curtains. I stole those, actually.
Where are they?
Hanging proudly in the house that Jaws paid for.
I really have mixed emotions when I see this. I don't know how other Jaws fans feel. When I first saw Jaws the Revenge, I thought, this is really lazy. Like, it's just rehashing the same sacred moment that Steven Spielberg, Roy Scheider, and the boy that played Sean Brody, Jay Mello, created sort of back in 1974. That was an improvised moment. Roy Scheider saw Jay copying him just before they were setting up for a scene. and called Steven Spielberg over and said, hey, look, let's try and work this somehow. And it ended up being one of the greatest moments in Jaws for me, but definitely it's probably my favourite human moment aside from the Indianapolis speech. But now that I look at it again in Jaws the Revenge, I actually quite like it. I don't feel it's as lazy as maybe I first thought it was. Maybe I was being a little bit harsh. But I think it actually is trying to bring the Jaws saga sort of full circle, if you like. I didn't really feel like it was contrived. I think Lance and Judith do just a really nice job of doing that. Obviously, Lance is probably aware of what they're trying to do more than anybody, because he's a massive Jaws fan himself. So, yeah, I think it's a nice scene. I don't think it's as lazy as maybe some people think, but hey, that's just my opinion. In the original script for Jaws the Revenge, it actually featured a cameo for Richard Dreyfuss's character from the original Jaws, marine biologist Matt Hooper. In Hooper's scene, he calls the Brodys and is greeted on the phone by Tia, who knows him as Uncle Matt. Hooper is established as being close to Michael and Carlo, who calls him my second favourite marine biologist, and he gives them his condolences about Sean's death. Hooper and Michael discuss their careers, the late Martin Brody and Hooper's once spending Christmas with the family, with Martin dressed as Santa Claus. The scene ends when Michael heads off to summon Ellen to the phone to talk to Hooper.
Haha, classic Mario. I insisted that Jake get killed by the shark. I thought this guy is so good that he deserves to be really remembered. And nothing makes you more memorable than dying in a movie. Ask Sean Bean. After a couple of chats with the producers and threatening to leave the production if Jake didn't die, they changed the script. That's power you can't buy. Oh, the shark's heading back for son number one. Better get a move on, Lance. Oh, there he is. Never saw fish like this down a fish market. The shark trying to eat the mini sub too.
Hey, this shark is like a garbage can, it'll eat anything.
You know what? I really love the score in this film. The composer is another Michael. Michael Small. Although I don't know if he is. It could just be stood a long way off.
Couldn't agree more. The scores in the Jaws films are a real strength. John Williams' iconic music for the original and Jaws 2 set the gold standard. And what Michael Small does in this film is quite remarkable. He did some amazing scores in the 70s. He did Clute, The Parallax View, Marathon Man, which also starred Roy Scheider.
Jesus, boy. You know my friends better than I do.
I made some notes in preparation, Sir Michael.
Don't tell me. The shark follows him into the wreck. I knew it. How is it going to get out? It can't turn around. It's too big.
Yeah, I thought that too.
I hope that shark can swim backwards or open doors, 'cause it's screwed otherwise. What? How did the shark get there?
Swam backwards and opened the door.
I doubled for Lance for the scuba ascension. The stuntmen weren't brave enough, so I had to step in. Wimps.
I love this sequence. Okay, the shark looks really fake and no way would it swim inside a shipwreck, but there are some genuine moments of tension and the clear water allows the filmmakers to show us something interesting and never seen before in a Jaws movie.
Interesting is one way to put it. How is that Bahama Mama?
It's a bit strong.
Good lad. This should have been called Jaws the Insomnia. No one can get any sleep. That's it, son. Get back on the horse. Or should that be shark?
The cameramen would ride on the back of the sharks for a point of view shots in Jaws 2, so
He really does look good with that beard. Maybe I should grow one. No mini sub to protect him this time.
yep, the shark comes again this time and he's fish food.
The Bahamas is such a beautiful place to dive.
Oh, it looks stunning. Did you get to do much diving while you were there?
Sadly not. Too busy teaching the stunt team. Bloody hell.
Did that scare you?
Just a bit. Poor Lance is going to be a nervous wreck by the end of this film.
So there's your finished sculpture. You happy with it?
I have to be honest, it's Karen who deserves the most credit. I was just there as a helping hand. What is it with this family in the water? They can't stay out of it.
Well, if you're looking for a shark, you aren't going to find it on the land.
I love banana boats. A real moneymaker. After making Death Trap, me and Christopher Reeve talked about going in on a water sports business.
Oh yeah? That work out?
No. We both realised how silly it would look having Superman bouncing around on a giant inflated banana.
Ah, fair point.
Of course the sharks found her. She's a Brody. He can smell 'em. And now they're all piling into the water. Stay out of there! Did she just put her leg in its mouth?
Yeah.
I missed the Oscars for this.
That's a good shot. I always like that one.
Looks like the rain's had enough and wants to put this movie to bed. She's nicking a boat. Who leaves their keys in their boat? This plot's got more holes than a Swiss cheese. Don't worry, Lorraine. The shark will find you, love. Uh-oh. Should have kept your mouth shut, Lance. Loves running on beaches, this fella, doesn't he? Gotta say, I haven't been in this movie for a little bit now. Needs more hoagie.
You can never have too much hoagie.
Damn right. She looks annoyed.
She's probably just finished reading the script.
I never did. There I am. Knew I'd be back soon. Forget Shakespeare, that was a tough line to deliver. The shark's found her. Thank God. We can get to the end of this bloody movie.
At least we haven't had any carolers for a while.
Diced into oblivion. Personal favourite line. Right, now it's on. That shot worked out quite well. Took us a few tries to get it because the shark kept playing up. Looked good. That was a lie. I knew exactly what I was doing. I did that in one take. Mario was a big baby about it. Never seen a shark sink a plane.
Saw one eat a rocking chair once.
What?
Nothing. Private joke.
You could have just stayed on land, love. And I'm back. The producers knew they needed more hoagie. Now, you may notice that my shirt is dry, even though I've just swum back to the boat. I'm not the fastest drying actor in Hollywood. My shirt dried out as we were waiting so bloody long between setups. And FYI, the shark's breath really did smell of engine oil. That reminds me, I need to book my annual physical.
Nice bit of exposition with the electromagnetism there, Jake. Hashtag MacGuffin.
Oh, not you as well. What's all this hashtag malarkey?
It's a social media thing.
I do Twitter like once a year. Say hello, wish people happy Christmas, that sort of thing.
Very wise. The Daily Jaws tweets 10 times a day on average.
10 times a day? What on earth do you tweet about?
All sorts. Jaws, sharks, shark movies, products, events, that sort of stuff. You should follow us.
No, thank you. The less social I am on the media, the better. This fish is persistent, I'll give it that.
Almost vengeful, you might say.
Are sharks able to stand on their tails like that?
In this multiverse, they appear to be able to do anything. Surprised it hasn't started flying yet.
See what I mean? A great death scene can really boost an actor's career. You're welcome, Mario. We used to have Jake-offs. Who could yell Jake the longest? Lance won, so he made the final cut. Hoagie keeps things moving. Who's the guy with the gun?
That's Chief Brody killing the shark in the first movie.
So, is she flashing back to something she hasn't seen?
Yeah, I guess he probably would have told her what happened at some point. Plus, she's developed psychic powers over the course of 4 movies, so...
I bunged a sound editor a score to put the roar in. Didn't think they'd actually do it.
That roar was apparently used in an episode of Tom and Jerry in 1946 called The Milky Waif.
You know way too much about Jaws, son. You got a partner? Boyfriend? Girlfriend?
No.
Yeah, didn't think so. What happened? Did the shark just explode?
Yep.
Do sharks normally explode like that?
Well, in the US cut, the shark just sort of sank to the bottom of the ocean, but for the international cut, which is this one, they detonated the shark. The theory behind it is that the bowsprit pierced the electronic device that Jake had sort of got into the shark's mouth, and it reacted like a bomb and the shark exploded. Well, that's one theory.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody jaws off. Ha ha ha. Oi, what? Jake lives? No. I had an assurance this would not make the final cut.
Well, Jake died in the original cut, but test audiences didn't like it as he was such a nice, likeable character, so they changed it and he lived. There are versions with Jake dying available somewhere. I can get one of those for you to watch if you'd like.
No, thank you very much. This has been more than enough Jaws for me. This part was shot in a tank back in the States. They dyed the water a deep blue colour to try and match the Bahamas, and it turned us all blue. Nearly turned into Jaws, the Revenge of the Smurfs. Might work in my favour, though, if Sigourney can get me a gig on one of the Avatar sequels. And Hoagie gets the girl, and they all live happily ever after.
Until Jaws 5, the return of even more revenge.
I actually took 100 nuns to Nairobi. You know what? It was a real shame that this film wasn't a success, as it was meant to be the start of a Jaws universe. You know, a bit like Tom Cruise tried to do with The Mummy. Idea was, I was going to have my own spin-off film series and everything. It wasn't to be, so I went and made Jack the Ripper on TV with Lewis Collins from The Professionals. And he was. Very. Sorely missed that fella. Right, boys. Been a pleasure, but I'm going to go now and make me another Bahama Mama. Then call my agent and my lawyer. You can let yourself out. Sir Michael, out.